Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG, and their 10K annual report for the year ending December 31st, 2021. Before we do, just to reiterate, not a financial advisor. Make sure that you do your own research before investing. Also, if you find value in today's video, smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content, and hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know every time we release new content. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. For one, we're going to talk about exactly what a 10K is. We've done this before. We talked about one last year, and we won't go through the whole thing. We're just going to go over some key parts that I read over. But first of all, we're just going to talk about what a 10K is. And it says how to read a 10K/10Q. If you want to follow or invest in a U.S. public company, you can find a wealth of information in the company's annual reports on Form 10K and quarterly reports Form 10Q. So your 10Qs are going to be your quarterly, your Form 10K is going to be your annual. Okay, so these things will paint a detailed picture of the company's business, the risk it faces, operating and financial results of the fiscal year or quarter. Company management also discusses its perspective on the business results and what's driving them. So in a nutshell, it's basically kind of a summary of what happened this past year, where they see the company going, some risks that may be involved. It's a pretty detailed document, so it's not something that I'm prepared to read the whole thing to you because you'd be here for a long time. So I don't want to keep you here all day, and but I'm going to link it in the description below to for those of you who do want to look at it, which know a lot of you probably already have. So the way you find it is you go to sec.gov, and then there's going to be a tab that basically is going to have a section where you have to go to filings, and then you go to company filing search. You're going to type in ZNOG, and then the page that we were just on will actually pop up just like that, and you can click on it and read it, which it'll bring up this document here. So we're going to read through some sections here. Like I said, we're not going to read through the entire thing, but we're going to read through some sections because I know some of these things we've already gone over, some things that you already know as far as where the rig's located, things about MJ1, all that type of stuff. But you can look and see, you see item 1 through 4 is the business, the risk factors, unresolved staff comments, properties, legal proceedings, mine safety disclosures, and you have part 2, 3, and 4, and you have a summary that goes all the way down at the end that if you just want to go down to the summary and read through, you can. I'm going to go through a couple of sections in part 1, like I said, and I may dive into something on part 2 as well, but I'm going to go over the risk factors and the looking forward statement. So it says the annual report on Form 10Q and the documents included incorporated by reference to the annual report contain statements concerning our expectations, beliefs, plans, objectives, goals, yada, yada, yada. These facts are forward-looking statements within the meaning of private securities. You generally can identify our forward-looking statements by the words anticipate, believe, budgeted, continue, things that look into the future. Okay, so these are some forward-looking statements, and it says the going concern qualification in our consolidated financial statements, our liquidity and our ability to raise capital to finance our overall exploration and development activities within our license area, our ability to continue meeting the requisite continued listing requirement of the OTCQX, the outcome of the current SEC investigation against us, business interruptions from COVID-19 pandemic, our ability to obtain new license areas to continue our petroleum exploration program, interruptions, increased consolidated financial costs, and other adverse impacts for the coronavirus pandemic on the drilling and testing of the MJ2 well and our capital raising efforts, our ability to explore for and develop natural gas and oil resources successfully and economically within the license area, our ability to maintain the exploration license rights to continue our petroleum exploration program, the ability of equipment such as seismic equipment, drilling rigs, and production equipment, as well as access to qualified personnel, the impact of government regulations, permitting, and other legal requirements in Israel in relation to onshore exploration drilling, the estimates of the time frame within the future exploration activities will be undertaken, changes in our exploration plans and related budgets, the quality of existing and future license areas with regard to, among other things, the existence of reserves in the economic quantities, anticipated trends in business, future results of operations, our capital expenditure program, future market conditions in the oil and gas industry, demand for oil and gas locally and globally, and the impact of fluctuating oil and gas prices on our exploration efforts. So those are some forward looking statements that they have. And it comes down to the part one where it goes over the overview, where they talk about kind of the history of the company, the MJ1, where they're drilling. Again, this is linked in the description, so I've already gone through this section on a previous 10K. I'm not going to go over it again, but that'll tell you kind of like a history of where they got, where they are today. Okay, this here breaks down. Let's see, I-35 drilling rig, and as of December 2019, and then here's December 2020, the financials. I'm trying to find here. We can find. Here we go. So, exploration expenditures. So the following table summarizes the amounts we expended on our exploration efforts between 2020 and 2021, and I believe these are in the thousands. Should be okay. I don't see anything stating if it's in the thousands or what, but typically, that's some low numbers. So those numbers are going to be multiplied by something a lot bigger, to make it more realistic. So it has the I-35 drilling rig and associated equipment, MJ license 428, the drilling operations, which are going to be your biggest cost here, right? So from 2020, you can see it was a small cost, not small, but smaller cost compared to what you're looking at here in 2021, because they had a lot more activity in 2021. Okay, equipment and inventory purchases, same thing. It pretty much doubled from 2020. The environmental geological operations went from 762,000 to a very large amount here. And the Joseph license expired on October 2013. Plug and abandonment operations. So you see a total, basically their expenditures pretty much tripled from 2020 to 2021, but that's kind of to be expected because they were actually drilling, they were actually operating, they had a need for more costs. So we're sure hoping that something comes out of all that money they're spending for sure. It says employees and contractors as of December 31st, 2021, we had 24 employees and contractors, of whom all but 2 are on full-time basis, including in this number of certain contractors who provide services to Zion on an ongoing basis. Of the 24 head count, 17 work out of Dallas office, 7 work in the Israel office. None of the current employees or contractors are subject to any collective bargaining agreements, and there have been no strikes. They regularly utilize independent consultants and contractors to perform the various professional services, yada, yada, yada. Let's see, we'll kind of come down here, and it kind of talks about the Israel's petroleum law. Preliminary permit allows the prospector to conduct preliminary investigations, which is what they're doing now. The license, the next step is, or actually this is what they're doing here, is the license is bestowing an exclusive right for further exploration and requiring the drilling of one or more testing wells. So this is what they're doing here. Is they're, hopefully they found something, and that's what they're testing right now to see if it's commercially viable. But no one entity may hold more than 12 licenses or hold more than a total of 4 million done in an aggravated license area. And then it has a production lease. Upon discovery of petroleum in commercial quantities, a license has a statutory right to receive a production lease. The initial lease is 30 terms, extendable for additional 20, so max up to 50. A lease confers upon the leasee the exclusive right to explore for our produced petroleum in the lease area, and requires it to produce petroleum in commercial quantities. It is entitled to transport and market the petroleum produced, subject, however, to the right of the government to require to supply local needs first at a market price. So that's something big right there, is that if they can actually come out and say they found oil, they had it's commercially viable, then it should actually It seems like it'll be like an automatic 30-year production lease, and then you can extend it another 20. So they just need to come out and say something positive if they have it. Okay. So you come down here at the financial section, they have a consolidated balance sheet, and as you can see here, the total current assets went from, and I'm not going to say it in the thousands like it actually is, but that's what it is. You multiply it by 1,000, but see 19,000 down to 8,600. But these numbers here, to get accurate information, you hit it, you multiply that by 1,000 to get your most current information. Total liabilities went up a significant amount because their cost went up a lot this past. Actually, no, this is assets here. So total liabilities, current liabilities, actually went down, which is good by a decent amount as well. So those of you who are familiar with balance sheet, if you see something on here that's beneficial, that's kind of popping out to you, make sure that you take a look and share it in the comment section. I'm not going to go through all this, but so that's what the 10K is. That's what it offers. Like I said, if you want to go through the whole thing, then be my guest. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. There's a lot of stuff we've already covered. If you follow the channel, you know last year we did this. So, but these are all the sections that you have. This is linked in the description below again, so you can take a look. So let's take a look at the charts, guys. Let's see what they're telling us, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So looking at Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG. We're going to redraw the fib level because we do have the time frame that updated a little bit. So our high here is about roughly right under 49 cents. We're going to call it there. So our low is still about 10 cents. Okay, and there's a good possibility that we get there. I'm really hoping today because I plan on buying some today if we didn't have any news this week. And I'm prepared to buy at 12, but I'd be pretty happy to buy at 10 as well. Okay, so we'll have to just kind of wait and see how it reacts. Currently at the moment, so if we zoom in here, we see we did get a sell signal here with a lot of volume because people are like, typically you'll see a lot of selling on a Tuesday, maybe late Thursday into Friday, because typically Monday and Thursdays are the days that they're going to release information for you. Okay, and if they don't release it, people are like, screw this thing, it ain't moving, and they'll get out, it kind of seems. So it's still in a bearish pattern. To be undervalued, I think we need to hit about 11 cents, maybe 10.5 cents, and then that'll be a good buying opportunity there, because I think you can probably get about 50% to 100% on your money, even if you want to do a swing play down here, because it's probably going to come up and hit 15 to 20 cents again before some type of news or things like that. So I'm looking to buy some more today, all right, and average down and just keep accumulating shares. And we've been waiting for, I know it seems like forever, but we're one good article or PR away from this thing starting to move. And when it does, we know that it moves fairly aggressive. And now your ceiling is only 50 cents. Think about that. As your ceiling is only 50 cents. That's not a very long way away. Percentage wise it is, price it's really not. So that's kind of a good thing. Is if we can stay around here, as long as we don't go further down, that would kind of stink. But if it does, then you get them for a lot cheaper for sure. But you want it to really stay around here, maybe even the 20 cent mark. Maybe if we can pop up there and just start consolidating, that will be a lot healthier than what we're looking at here. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts below. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.